Morning, church. It's April the 6th, and we find ourselves in Matthew chapter 18. I'll read verses 7 through 9. This is temptations to sin. Woe to the world for temptations to sin, for it is necessary that temptations come, but woe to the one by whom the temptation comes. And if your hand or your foot causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to enter life crippled or lame than with 2 hands or 2 feet to be thrown into the eternal fire. And if your eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. It is better for you to enter life with 1 eye than with 2 eyes to be thrown into the hell of fire. We don't like passages like this. They're very graphic and they're very on point. But Jesus is using this as an analogy. We see similar language back in Matthew 5 in the Sermon on the Mount. We see that Jesus regards sin as very serious. After all, he is a holy God, and we would do well to understand and recognize the seriousness of sin in our lives. There's 2 ways to take this passage. It could be applied to each person individually. If you have besetting sin in your life, say your eyes like to look at porn on your computer, you need to stop using the computer, or at least move the computer where others can see what you're doing so that you aren't trapped in this besetting sin and falling into your temptation. You can imagine how the hands and the feet might also be problems for you to sin, to be tempted. And so Jesus is making a point. Don't let your besetting sin be the source of your lostness. He's talking here about eternal punishment if we don't deal with the sin while we're here. So basically, if we use discipline, good discipline, avoid those things that cause us to get into sin and to be tempted by sin. So discipline can help us avoid punishment later if we do it correctly. And so this is hard for us. And we see this also applied in the church, where we have heretical teaching, some member trying to teach things that are false. We have to go and practice church discipline, go to that person, and if he's not willing to refrain from that heretical teaching, then we have to get him out of the body of believers in the local church. And we want to help this person to be restored, but for the greater good of the body of believers, we need to excise that person and their bad behavior. So these are some things that this passage is dealing with. I know we all have things that we have to avoid. We have to say no to our flesh all the time. Better to have a little discipline now than a lot of punishment later. So pray that you not be tempted by your sin. Thank you. God bless you. Have a great day.